Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with atbbq.com, and today on Tips and Techniques, we're talking about how to grill chicken breasts on a pellet grill. We're getting back to basics once again with some pellet grilling 101. So let's say you're new to pellet grills or you're new to grilling in general. One of the first things you gotta know is how to cook chicken breasts. At least I know for me, this is probably the item that I've grilled more of than anything else in the world. It's what we eat all the time at home. Most of the time when I'm grilling chicken, I'm not gonna eat it whole necessarily. We're gonna chop it up and put it into a salad or tacos or your chili blanco. But it all starts with getting a good grill on this chicken breast. So while there's not a lot to it, there are a few tips and techniques that I can share with you today. They're gonna keep you from drying out that chicken, overcooking it, etc. First thing we'll talk about is the actual selection of what you're cooking. Now these are Tyson chicken breasts and they're fine. There's better stuff out there, there's worse stuff out there. But what you wanna look for is something that's not dirt cheap because they probably didn't process or treat those animals very well anyway. And you wanna make sure that it's as affected as little as possible. So you don't want anything extra injected into it. Now typically when I'm looking at trimming these up, I'll go to this one spot right here at the top of the tenderloin, and there's sometimes a little bit of cartilage right here, and I'll take that off. Otherwise, I'm just looking to see if they've left on. There's oftentimes a little lip of like cartilage from the breastplate that needs to get trimmed off. I don't see it there today. And then any excess of fat like that, I'll take that off as well. Some of that cartilage. Good sharp boning knife. It's all you need to take care of this. Now, when it comes to actually breaking this down further, you don't have to. You can cook it just like this, but just look at this, how thin that is compared to how thick that is. And I've got to get this to the proper finishing temperature, which means that by the end, this is going to be way overcooked before that gets all the way done. One thing that I like to do sometimes is I'll actually slice these in half horizontally, just putting a little pressure down, trying to stay right in the middle of there. And now what we've done is we've created twice as much surface area that we can get a little bit of char on and some seasoning on, and now it's gonna cook in half the time because it's half as thick. So the other option that you have on evening this out is pounding it out. So if I'm gonna do that, what I'll do is put just a little bit of fat down so I don't tear any of the meat as it pounds. Put a little bit on top. Sheet of plastic, and then you're just going to work that thick side and kind of pushing, not just pounding, but pushing. And it'll start to even that out. So now check that out. Almost even all the way across except for that tiny taper down there. That's going to cook much more evenly. And you've also given yourself a little bit more surface area to get some grill marks and some seasoning. Next, we're gonna get these seasoned up. I'm gonna hit them with just a little bit of oil for that rub to stick to. That's more than we need. Just kind of coat that surface. You could use anything you want. Hot sauce, oil, mustard even. So right here we've got our kind of untouched chicken breasts. I'll go ahead and season these two with the Yoder chicken rub, kind of a barbecue flavor here. This is the one that we pounded out to make a little more even. Then I'm gonna hit these guys with our Mexicano seasoning. Maybe make some tacos out of those later. Not gonna go too heavy. We want good coverage, but we don't want it to be over salted. Same thing on this side. Also, since we're talking 101, the higher you season from, the more evenly it falls. So instead of like being right here, and give yourself a little vertical. All right. Now typically my rule is once this seasoning looks wet on the surface, that's how I know it's attached to the meat and ready to go on the grill. So we'll give it a couple minutes. And today we're cooking on the Yoder Smokers YS640S pellet grill. It's running at 450 degrees with hickory pellets, and we're set up for direct grilling. I'll show you what that means here in a sec. So the direct setup means there's no diffuser that gets in between the flame itself and the grilling surface. That way we get this direct flame that lips up through the bottom of this perforated grill grate, and these grates are going to give us some really great grill marks. I'm also going to push this baffle all the way in so that we kind of create a hot zone right here and a cooler zone right here in case we need to finish away from the flame. So we're going to go mostly directly over the flame so that we can get some really nice color. For now, we're gonna close the door to trap the heat inside. It's been about 4 or 5 minutes now. When it comes to when it's time to turn or flip, your chicken's gonna let you know. If it's still sticking a little bit, you can either coerce it just a little or just wait, like this one specifically, I bet. See, it's fully released. And once it's released itself, it's ready to flip. Getting those nice grill marks developed. Big guy's still sticking a little bit. So one of the things that, is gonna help you be successful here is putting this chicken over the direct flame so you can get some color on it. The most important thing is gonna be our finishing temperature, and we'll keep an eye on that with a digital thermometer. So I think it's safe to say that what we all want out of our chicken breasts is for them to be juicy in the middle and to have some color, a little bit of char maybe on the outside, a little bit of texture. There's different ways to get there. Right now we're cooking with the door closed. It traps the heat in. That means the internal temperature rises more quickly. But if you need to get more color on the outside and you're worried about that temperature going too high, just open the grill and cook with it completely open so that all it's getting is color and the internal temperature is rising slower. The other option you have is that other side of the grill. We created a second grilling zone that's cooler, so you can always move it off to the side if you feel like you're getting too much color and you need to bring the internal temperature up. Now these are all likely to finish at different times. This little one's obviously gonna be the first one that's gonna be done. When I'm grilling chicken, I'm usually looking for 155 to 160. USDA says 165, it'll get there with carryover cooking. So that guy is ready to come off. Oh yeah, that's looking good. All right, so if we wanna get some different grill marks on here, flip that over and turn it. The other thing that you can do is when you're moving these around, find a new spot to put them down. That'll help them to get a little bit more color and heat off of the grates themselves, because right now this spot right here is much hotter than this spot right here just because it's had food on it. Now both the other half of the one that we sliced in half and the one that we pounded out are both reaching that target temperature range, so we're going to pull those off. And there's just the big guy left. We got about 30, 35 degrees to go on that, so I'm gonna close up the door. All right, so we took off all of the other chicken at about 10 minutes in. We're now about 15, 16 minutes in, but we've still got a good 20 degrees to go at the thick end. But if we check this thin end, since we didn't do anything to even this out, I mean, it's already done and then some. So no doubt that tail end's gonna be just a little bit dry. And that's one of the reasons why, if you're gonna cook this way, you're gonna have to deal with that. At this point, it's got great color on it though, so I'm gonna move it over here to the indirect side of the grill where it's not gonna cook so hot. Well, the big guy, it ended up taking about 26 minutes. So, 2.5 times what it took to cook the smaller ones. We still got a good finishing temperature. Still nice and juicy on the inside. But that outer ring has to start to dry out because its temperature is rising so much higher than the center. So while there's nothing wrong with cooking a chicken breast this way, it's definitely not the #1 best way to do it. I think my personal favorite has got to be just pounding this one out a little bit. It's not quite as easy as slicing in half. But man, that's been resting for 15 plus minutes. Still crazy juicy. I like the size of it. Like I said, most of the time when I'm grilling chicken, I'm dicing it up to put it in something, and it's kind of nice when all of your pieces are the exact same size. Now this one's slightly smaller. But yeah, that's still not dried out for sure. You know, with these smaller pieces, you can leave that lid open a little bit longer if you want to get a little bit darker color on them, because they do cook so much quicker. And that's the smaller half of the little guy. Let's take a bite. Super tender, juicy, and honestly really easy. We didn't even marinate this, we didn't brine it. You don't really need all that. As long as you finish at a right temperature, I'm talking 155 to 160, you're gonna have juicy chicken every time. So just to kind of hit the key points one more time, try and get your chicken on an even cooking level. It does help in the long run. Make sure you're going for a direct grill setup. The more flame you can get on the chicken, the more flavor you can get on the chicken. Don't overshoot your finishing temp, 155 to 160 every time, and every time you've got great chicken. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out atbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoy the video, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to atbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.